Back for another daily review, and this one is to that Big Sean Living Single with Chance the Rapper and Jeremih, and I'm giving this one the yellow light. Simply put, it gives you a whole lot of quality. I like a whole lot of aspects about this song, but yet we're not getting a phenomenal song here. Like, it's one that I could not listen to for quite some time and not even miss it. So this song is ultimately a play off the 90s sitcom Living Single, which I always did enjoy that. Like, it came on after Martin, I believe, and before NYPD Blue and all of that, man. Like, that whole block of entertainment was one that I actually really enjoyed when I was much younger. It's ultimately an interpolation of the opening theme of the show and such. As you listen to that production, it has a lot in common with that opening theme. Honestly, they had to have sampled, and how Jeremih flipped up the lyrics that were within that opening theme as well. And I did enjoy the lyricism in there, man. I mean, Chance the Rapper even had a moment in there where he said, "There's not a single person living," he flipped the living single, "that is happy with living single," and such. Like, I did enjoy that. I mean, it's not phenomenal balls or anything like that, but it's interesting. While I feel as though Big Sean definitely took the cake here, man. When he did the whole XXX wordplay and such, man, like, I never would have thought of that. Like, when he said XXX, as in these chicks that he's dealing with is only there for sex or whatever, but then he flipped it like my XXX when he's thinking about the past women that he had relationships with, man. That was a dope punchline, dope train of thought right there. But even as I liked all of this, man, I felt as though it definitely could have been stronger. I feel as though that production could have been better. I feel as though these bars, even though I did extremely like that wordplay there, I feel as though the opportunity to hit better punchlines was there and really was lacking in a lot of areas. But definitely a joint I recommend people to go ahead and peep out. But a quick recap, man, the positives that I'm taking from this is the overall concept, man, I definitely did enjoy it. But yet the negatives, I feel as though it could have been strong. But this concludes today's review, man, and now we're going to jump into a brief instrumental from underground producer Roz Corelli before we take some of your questions.
And you know this, man.
So Blanchard says that he feels as though fans don't even care about album sales and all that, so that really doesn't even matter when it comes to this hottest MCs list and all that, dude. And you're absolutely wrong, and you're missing the point 100%. Because, okay, how many times have you heard from Drake fans or even J. Cole fans like, okay, we sold this much, man, so we have to be one of the hottest. So obviously it does matter. But yet the whole point that I was making here, man, is what does this list actually mean? Because if you're saying the hottest in the game, you can actually measure that. You can actually measure how successful an individual is being based off of album sales and based off of streams, and album sales should weigh way more than what streams actually should weigh. That's what I'm ultimately saying. But yet the way that they put this list together and all that, man, it ultimately just comes off as meaningless gossip when they actually could have measured some of this stuff. And Speak On It ultimately says that this whole top 10 list that they did, the hottest MC in the game, it was flawed to begin with. It was never going to be any good, and he's absolutely right about that, dude. Because when you think about that whole hottest in the game, man, it's all subjective based on how many times you heard an individual, and how many times you heard an individual is based on how much love that the record labels and such are giving them in the vast majority of cases. And that's ultimately why this list is so garbage, and quite honest with you, it never had a chance from the beginning. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can follow me at Twitter up there, and you can go to downloadpads.com, that's down there, to read today's article.